I have lived in a shared house, I have lived in a student apartment, and I am currently living in a family house, a detached house here in the UK. So I am here to share some of the tips to renting a house in the UK with you. I hope you find this video interesting and helpful. All right, so my name is Chinyere and you are most welcome to my channel. Please do not forget to like, comment, and then hit the subscribe red button to keep supporting our channel to grow. Okay, if you are looking to rent a house in this part of the world, United Kingdom, here are the tips that you should be considering. One, you should be looking at the location, no matter where you are moving in from. Firstly, you check the location, proximity to your workplace, to school, in case you have children that will be going to school. You consider the proximity to the school where you want your child or your children to be attending school. And then you consider the proximity to your workplace and check if it is within the city center, within the city area, or if there are shopping malls around where you could easily go get your groceries and or what have you. Secondly, you consider the type of accommodation you will be renting. Are you looking for a shared house? In a shared house, there could be 2 to 3 different people living in that house. Remember, you will be sharing a kitchen, and some of these shared houses, you might be sharing the washroom, that's the toilet. You will be sharing with other neighbors in the house. Is that the kind of apartment you would like to live in, where you would have to share the kitchen, share the living room? Yeah, it's a general one for everyone. Secondly, there is this kind of apartment, studio apartments. In the studio apartment, is like a self-contained house. You have the living room, you have the kitchen. While cooking in the kitchen, you are looking at your living room. Your bed is there looking at you. So everything is there, enclosed or incorporated in a one, I don't know how to put it, in a one space, very reachable. The kitchen is there looking at you. The bed is there looking at you. The washroom. That's the description of a studio apartment. Yes. Then are you looking for a flat? In a flat, you know what that means. You don't have the garden. You might not have the parking space. It might be a shared garage, a shared parking space for everyone. But, you just have the flat to yourself. Yeah, it could be a 2-bedroom flat. You have the 2 rooms, you have the living room, which is the parlor, you have the kitchen, you have the toilet. It could be a 3-bedroom flat, depending. And you can find a flat in a terrace house. It can also be seen in a bungalow. It can also be seen in a skyscraper house. Yes, these are places you could get flats to stay. But bear in mind that the most important thing while looking for a house to rent in this part of the world is to consider the proximity to your workplace. That's the #1 factor, because before we rented this place, we considered the proximity to my child's school and to my husband's workplace. Yes, and to my workplace also. Yeah, because walking to my husband's workplace is just 11 minutes away. Yeah, and to my child's school is just 0.7 miles away, which is around 15 minutes away from here. Yeah, so everything is just within reach for us, where you might not be spending that much. And if you have moved into a house and you're looking for a job, you look for somewhere that is close by your house. All right, so another basic point to consider is this. What kind of house are you looking for? Is it a furnished house, unfurnished house, part furnished house? Is that what you're looking for? Think of it before making a choice of renting a house. An unfurnished house is like an empty house with absolutely nothing in it. Yeah, just the basics that you might be finding, just the kitchen cabinets are the stuff you might be getting there, and then the rooms are totally empty, or the room is absolutely empty. This is just an unfurnished house for you. Yep. And are you looking for a semi-furnished house where you could get some furniture in the house? The kitchen might be furnished, yep, with probably the washing machine, the gas cooker is there for you, the dishwashers, the inbuilt fridge, yeah, they are there for you. And you go to the rooms, you might find the beds there and the dining set, some of the rooms. These are just the part furnished apartment. Not everywhere is furnished for you. And would you be interested in a furnished apartment or a furnished house? Dear, you have everything totally complete for you. Yes, from A to Z, you have everything. You just move in with your bag. This is all you need to move in with your luggage. You are settled. But then it might be a little bit expensive depending in the area where you are finding such an apartment. And then there is this factor to be considered while moving into a furnished apartment. Are the bills inclusive, or are you going to be paying your bills? Are they exclusive bills? You know, some furnished apartments, they come with inclusive bills where the landlord is in charge of the electricity, the internet is provided for you, the heating and all them stuff, they are all provided for you. They are all included in your bill. That is inclusive house, and it's all furnished for you. But mostly some of these part furnished house or unfurnished house, everything is on you, including the tiness of the bills. You have to pay all of them as you go, because it's pay as you go. And here is the basic disadvantage of moving into a furnished apartment. When you moved into a furnished apartment, when it is about time for you to move out, the landlord or the housing manager has to come investigate if there are any damages. And if there are any damages in the house, you have to pay for it. You have to pay for replacement, or they take out this money from the deposit you made. Now, the disadvantages of moving into unfurnished apartment is that you have to furnish the house with your own money. You have to make provisions for the furnitures, for the cabinets, for the bed, for the dining, or whatever that needed to move into the house. It's totally an empty house. And you have to spend a lot furnishing an empty house. Again, if it is a part furnished house, it is less cost effective because you are not totally buying everything in the house. You are buying some of the things, the furnitures that will not put in the house. But particularly the kitchen should be furnished for you. You should have the basic things, basic facilities in the kitchen, such as the gas cooker, the washing machine. The fridge might be there for you. So you just have to buy a few things to furnish the rest of your house or your room and your dining, if you didn't find a dining set or dining table in there. So the next point is this: having considered and decided what kind of apartments you'll be getting, furnished or unfurnished, you consider the location, the proximity and all that. The next step is this: you go online and check out the renting sites. There are different agencies or different housing estates that are in charge of renting houses here in the UK. Check out for this renting website. They have Rightmove, they have Spare Room, Open Rent, and a whole lot of them. Once you check out one on Google, you could find different houses depending on what you want. You could use filter to narrow things down. Put in inclusive house, furnished house, then you can put down the distance, as in how many miles away you want it. You put in all this, and then there comes the available ones would come up. You have a look. You can view the house online, but after viewing online, you can write the housing agent because their numbers are always there. You can contact them either by email or you call them one-on-one. Then you make an appointment with them to come view the house. It takes about a few days for them to invite you over to come view the house. Once you are invited to view the house, on arrival, ensure that you check out the basic facilities. Assuming that is a totally unfurnished house, an empty house, there should be some basic stuff in the house, like the heating points, that's the gas. You check the boiling points if they are available there, the central heating points in the house, that's the heaters. Check out that these things are in the house. Once you checked and confirmed that you are okay with it, good and fine, you go back to their office and pay what is called the holding fee. Yes, it's about your week rent. It's about a week rent, assuming that the house is 500 in a month. you are expected to drop £100. Yes, for the holding fees. So once you pay, they will take out the house off the market. It will be off online so that other people won't be coming for the house because you have paid this holding fee. Sometimes you get a refund, but basically you don't get a refund for paying this holding fee. This is why you must ensure, while going to view this apartment or a house, you ensure that you observe very well, check out for damages in the house and what you wouldn't like in the house or what are not properly in the house, so that you ensure that when you make a holding fee, that even if they didn't give you back, you are getting the house. After this holding fee has been paid, the next step is for them to carry out DBS check. They will do a lot of checks on you to see if you are eligible to live in the UK, if you have a job like you claim that you have one, and if you are earning a specific amount of money in a month. They will check all these things, and they need information from the previous place or places you have stayed in the past 3 years, your address. These are the verifications they would do, and they would ensure that you also have a bank account, before you can be satisfied to be given an apartment here in the UK. And after this point, you have to pay a deposit first. You have to pay the rent. If the rent is 200 in a month, you are paying 200 and another 200 for the deposit. And basically, this £200 you are paying extra for the deposit, it doesn't go to the landlord. And I must say that it goes to the deposit scheme. That's to the government. They are in charge of this money. I remember when I was a student, I rented a house as a student. As I was about leaving the house after about 2 years, the deposit money, in fact, I was already leaving. I've called a car to take me to the airport to fly out of this country. That was in 2013. And my landlady rang me up to say, come around and have your deposit. I went to her office because it was nearby. I went to her office and I filled some forms. Yes. After filling up those forms, my landlady had to give me the money from her pocket. Yes, because there was no time for me, because when you are getting your deposit back, it takes a little bit, it takes few days because you have to fill some form. The money is not in your landlord or your landlady's pocket, so but she paid me out of her pocket. You can imagine how kind she was. And for her to collect the money from the government afterwards, yes. And then they have to check if there are any damages. If there are, then they will deduct it from the deposit you made. When I moved into this house, the fridge, there are some of the plastics that were broken. I did a video of that, sent to the housing manager to say there is this damage, and I called out for them to come fix it. The door was bad. I had to make a video and I called them to come and fix all these things. Yes. So this is what you should consider while moving into or while renting a house in the UK. You observe all these things very well. Consider all these factors before getting a rented apartment here. It is very easy and fantastic when you follow all the due processes required. Once again, thank you so much for clicking to watch this video. I really appreciate your time. So please do not forget to like, comment, hit the subscribe red button for more videos like this. Thank you and see you next time. Bye for now.